Okay, so we've got 21 participants already. I think we're able to start right now. So are you all seeing my screen? IP Video Talk overview, meet anywhere, anytime, hassle-free. All right, then we'll start now. So for our agenda for today's webinar is a brief introduction of IP Video Talk, deployment scenarios, IP Video Talk plans, IP Video Talk features, use cases, battle card comparison, case studies, demo, question and answer. So please save your questions in the last part of the webinar. I would also like to acknowledge our friends from Grandstream APAC who joined us here today. So moving on. What is IP Video Talk? So IP Video Talk is Grandstream's hosted video, audio, and web conferencing service that allows users to join meetings from anywhere. It enables us with video conference, collaboration, and mobility. So under video conferencing, this is where our DVC devices are included. So 1080p for the resolution, multiple video feeds, collaboration. So we have basic features, screen sharing and chat, mobility from joining webinars using the browsers and in our mobile phones, whether it's an iOS device or an Android device. So deployment scenarios, right here is an ideal deployment setup using Grandstream's video conferencing. So we can see 3 GVC cameras for each site, respectively with red, green, and blue, linked with IP Video Talk. So when purchased, each of it has 1 year free basic IP Video Talk plan, allowing this kind of setup. So as you can see, for this GVC 3200, we have 3 outputs that we can utilize. So among the models that the GVC series have are those 3. First is the GVC 3210, the GVC 3202, and the flagship device of this series, the GVC 3200. GVC 3210 serves as the endpoint for requirements, specifically when you have huddle rooms and you don't require such cameras that enables PTZ. So it has dual band Wi-Fi, 4K ultra resolution, cloud streaming, 2 HDMI outputs, 3 times digital zooming. We also have GVC 3202, the second one in line. So it has Ethernet connection, PoE. It has 1080p HD video. It has built-in MCU with 3-way video, 2 HDMI output, PTZ camera with 9 times optical zooming. Lastly, we have GVC 3200. It has 1080p, the highest among the 3, built-in MCU with 9-way video, 3 HDMI output, and 12 times optical zooming for its PTZ camera. Moving on to the IP Video Talk plans. So we have basic. So it's the free IP Video Talk plan from Grandstream. We also have the Pro edition and the Business edition. So the main difference among this is that Pro and business plans has a more generous amount of cloud storage. As you can see from the basic free, we have 512 megabyte cloud storage. Pro has 2 gigabytes. Business has 5 gigabytes. Also, as you can see with the participants, basic only has 50 with 49 video feeds. Pro has 100. Business has 150. So the rest is pretty similar. It also enable to have a meeting for as long as 70 minutes for free. And of course, if you purchase the edition, you have more of meeting time, 6 hours for pro, and we have 6 hours as well for business. Okay, moving on. Here are the IPVideoTalk webinar and meeting features. So screen sharing or content sharing, webinar and meeting schedule for one time, recurring or featured planned meeting, meeting stats and reports for analytics, group chat and Q&A during discussion, IPVideoTalk session control and conference settings, customizable pre-registration with landing page, automatic thank you emails when ended, recurring meetings, and of course, local GVC recording and 2 gigabyte cloud recording. So we have 3 simple steps of creating a meeting. First is to plan the meeting. So basically, schedule a future meeting, set a recurring meeting, or meet now. We have those options that we will be able to see later on in the demo. So second is to invite participants. We also have an option to not to invite participants yet with their email addresses as long as they know the meeting ID. So the third one is to enjoy meeting and collaboration of up to 100 attendees. Here, IPVideoTalk was able to utilize all the flexibility it has. So we have supported devices and platforms ranging from the WebRTC with supported browsers, H323 protocol for video calls, PC, mobile phones, tablets, laptops, PSTN lines, SIP devices, and of course, your very own IPVideoTalk. So we have 3 methods of sharing a presentation using GVC 3210, which it only has this feature only is available with GVC 3210. This is the Miracast technology sharing, so screen sharing can take place using that technology. With HDMI input, GVC 3200 and GVC 3202 can utilize this feature. So all models comes with an HDMI input to share presentation from your computer. And lastly, the WebRTC feature. So we have IP Video Talk using our supported browsers, namely Firefox and Chrome. So to optimize IP Video Talk for a successful meeting, a good bandwidth of at least 2 megabit is required. An IP Video Talk plan is ensured to fit needs. And also the use of the supported browser as Firefox, Chrome, and Opera. So those are the basic requirements for us to achieve a successful meeting. So as you can see here, in this illustration, it shows how flexible IPVideoTalk is. Notice the man using the GVC conferencing camera, the guy in suit using a mobile phone, the lady in blue using a Grandstream video phone, and the redhead lady sharing a presentation through PC. So all these devices works with IPVideoTalk. In an actual perspective, this is how it looks like for an effective and hassle-free setup using GVC cameras with built-in MCUs made possible by IPVideoTalk. So we have 4 conferences ongoing here for participants. So we get to the use case scenario of using this IPVideoTalk. The first one is using in business or government. So it is to bridge remote teams together instantly at any time, hold video meetings with clients and customers, attend meetings on nearly any device with no plugins. Right here, you can see this is a photo of the Spanish government using IPVideoTalk for their internal meetings. So they had coordinated the coronavirus situation using our GVC and IPVideoTalk. This one. So this is the GVC camera, and this is the GAC 2500, our speakerphone, conference speakerphone. So Pedro Sanchez, who is the Prime Minister of Spain, used the Grandstream video conferencing solution to talk to other official cabinet members. In continuation for the actual use cases, this time in remote courtrooms. So here, if you can see that one, that is the camera. Let me zoom it out there. Okay. And also this one right there. Here. Okay. So going back. Other use cases among many others is the medical use of IPVideoTalk. So it is able to hold centralized staff meetings with online access, of course, telehealth visits, consultations, diagnosis, and check-ins. Record meetings for patients' future reference. The photo right here is in China, where the Grandstream deployments include, of course, the medical facilities. So for education, you will be able to create remote classrooms with webinar, Q&A, and raise hand functionality. So we are also able to record classes, share virtual handouts, and share screen demonstrations. It also has a feature to access reports and analytics about class participation because you are able to see who participated within the webinar or the meetings. So right here is the GVC cameras, the one I showed earlier. And also here is the GAC 2500, our video conferencing speakerphone. So going into the security features, we will see now later on in the demo that we can set a password for each meetings created with IPVideoTalk. This puts us at ease that our conference are secured and protected. It also has automatic encryption and firewall using AES. So all traffic is encrypted. Signaling audio and video using advanced encryption is standard. AES also referred to as a bank-grade encryption. So going into the deeper explanation of the basic features for this IPVideoTalk, we have cloud recording. It is available to host in web meeting interface, just like what I have now. Later on, we will see that more. We are able to store, download, and delete recordings from the IPVideoTalk user portal. So the designated storage capacity varies for each IPVideoTalk plan. Namely, we have the free, the business plan, and the pro. So they are varying with regards to the storage capacity. Other one is a customizable meeting registration pages. So in here, we are able to customize the meetings registration page with custom image banners and extensive sign-up form options. It is also available in the schedule a meeting option through the user portal. So basically, this feature is accessible when we are trying to host a webinar instead of a regular meeting. So just like how you ended up in joining this webinar, you're able to register using this one. So this is a feature of IPView to customize the content. As you can see here in the right side, so there is a panel and you have to simply drag the elements. So we have the text box, the drop down list, the text inputs, the radio buttons for options, and the multiple check boxes. Here as the earlier, so you should click an entry or answer option from the side panel and drag it to the desired place. So this is where you should put it if you have a large requirement of information from your registrants or participants. So once the options are placed in the registration form, you can edit the content to customize the form entries with your preference. The other one is the enhanced email customization. So this allows us to select 3 automatic email reminders with a custom time, just like what we used to do in our Outlook emails. So this is a reminder that the webinar or the meeting is approaching. So you can select that whether in a minute, an hour, or a day. We also have thank you email, which is customizable as well. So we could just edit and put what is needed to say when the meeting is already done. So we are also able to customize the email for participants who did not attend. So for those who missed the webinar, we are also able to give them some feedback, whether they need something from us or some webinar copy. So the Q&A feature, I think we will be utilizing this one more in the latter part of this meeting. So it is available to the host in the web meeting interface, of course. Can be enabled when scheduling the meeting in the user portal. Just right before you finish the creation of the webinar, it is an option for you to enable or disable this one. So once enabled, during the meeting scheduling phase, the Q&A can be disabled during the live meeting. So it is available to answer live via audio, publicly via text, or privately via text as well. This is enabled if you press this button. So there is a Q button right there. Here is the exact interface of the Q&A feature. So it is the attendee view. So basically, you as the participants got this view later, or if you try it now, you should be able to see that one. So in here, you can of course ask questions, view others' questions, and view other replies. This one right here is my view, so it's the host or panelist view. So we were able to see the questions asked. We were able to reply the questions via audio. For example, we have read the questions already. We can just answer it live, just like what I'm doing right now. So I'll just speak, or I could answer it via text. So this involves typing, of course. We can also disable Q&A in meeting. This one allows us to integrate the ongoing meeting or webinar with regards to our Facebook or YouTube accounts. So it is available to the host of the web meeting interface. Gotta click here and go for live to Facebook or YouTube. So stream to your designated Facebook or YouTube accounts. Selecting either platform will prompt to log in to the designated social media account to complete the streaming access. This dual video presentation stream allows us to be able to present a presentation at the same time the participants will be able to see you as the host. So just like here. So it is also available to the host and the panelists as their right in the web meeting interface during screen sharing mode. So it is activated by enabling the camera of the GVC right here, the host view, GVC, the PC or mobile device. Once the presentation is shared, the video stream will stay active. So IPVideoTalk won't necessarily select which one to present. It could present the same, the host and also the presentation. We are also able to block this feature by disabling the camera of the host device through the web meeting interface. So simply click this one to enable or disable the web camera. Feature for pausing the presentation. It is helpful when something urgent comes up which requires necessary adjustments. So for example, there is some incident that's happening while you're presenting. So you could just pause it and let the participants know that there will be some delay. So it allows the presenter to freeze the presentation to either make adjustments, attend to a last minute issue or something. So this is a recap of the competitive advantages of a web plan. So of course, we are lucky to have GrandStream give us a free personal web plan. So it is always available. It is hassle-free, so no client downloads are required and no annoying updates. So just like how you all join to this meeting, there's no installation required. Of course, using the mobile phones, we just have to download the app and that's it. So we also have YouTube Live and Facebook Live integration stream for your meetings directly to your social media followers. PSTN tie-in. This feature is unfortunately unavailable in our country. So, but most of the countries outside has this feature. We just don't have an specific number to use here in the Philippines. So we also have free iOS and Android mobile app, as you can even host meetings from the app. So webinar features and screen sharing are always included. Those features that we have mentioned earlier, so they never cost extra for anything that you wanted to add. Also, customizable email reminders and meeting registration pages doesn't require you to pay extra. For the recap of the advantages room system, so this involves the devices, the GVC series. For the room system plans, we have free 1-year small business plan for every hardware purchase. So if you are able to purchase a GVC 3200, even 3202 or 3210, it also has the IPVideoTalk license for at least 1 year. So you can utilize that one. With that in mind, we are able to save between $1,000 to $3,000 using the IPVideoTalk over competitors without compromising on features. Why is that? Because other competitors, as we all know, requires another purchase for every other features. So that means extra payments and so on and so forth. So for cloud recording, it is included in each plan. As mentioned, this is the hardware, so GVC 3200 and 3202. It has 1080p resolution for GVC 3200, built-in MCU and camera. So this one is really what makes the Grandstream video conferencing uh, easy to set up, because the MCU is built in with the camera, so you don't have to uh, wire many peripherals unlike the other brands. So it is installed in 3 easy steps. Also, multi-point license is optional, as many competitors require this, as mentioned, for a monthly fee or hardware tie-in. So GVC 3200 has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and also this speakerphone GAC 2500 is included with every GVC. So for every purchase of GVC 3200 and GVC 3202, a GAC 2500 speakerphone is already included. Right here, we can see a battle card comparison of IPVideoTalk among the other brands. So we have Zoom, JoinMe, Skype, GoToMeeting, Starter, and WebEx from Cisco. So as you can see, IPVideoTalk pretty much have the evident edge to everything. So for HD video, it has 720p. It has also, of course, the HD audio, so screen sharing, of course, chat, one-click meetings. The participants maximum, we have 50. The rest has 10, 25, and the least. So maximum video feeds, we have 49. The meetings, at most, we can have 70. The others only have 40, and the rest even none. So webinars included, yes, even it's a trial or a free plan, it also includes webinar. That's so generous of Grandstream with regards to this one. So PSTN line call in, yes, but selected countries only. Unfortunately, Philippines is not included yet. So cloud recording, we have 512 megabytes. For a free plan, that is, I think, a generous amount of cloud recording already. Meeting analytics, so yeah, just like what we said earlier, it is the statistics of the participants that you had in the webinar. So YouTube and Facebook integration, yes, while the others don't have that feature. In meeting ads, I think this one is important because, as we all know, this utilizes internet and WebRTC, and when you are doing so, there are lots and lots of ads always for every free applications or tools that you are using. But with this free IP video talk, there is really no ads at all. So the price, of course, is free. And this ends our presentation. So let us just get back here if we meet the agendas that we have. So case study comparison is the last one that we did. So to show you some successful among the many others, so we have a case study with Grandstream. Let me just project it. So there. So are you able to see this one? So this one is a corporation from Europe. So this is a Comsa Corporation. It is one of the largest construction and engineering firms in Europe. So this Comsa MT had a video conferencing network in place that was made up of mostly old Tandberg video conferencing hardware units. So their video network also utilized Polycom and Huawei hardware units. The whole video conferencing solution was set up through the Cisco Call Manager platform and therefore only supported in network units would also not be able to support any expansion. So using this one, all IPVideoTalk meetings can be joined by Grandstream's GVC series, hardware devices, web users from any PC or Mac, or mobile users through the IPVideoTalk around Android and iOS apps. So another one, aside from this Comsa Corporation, there is another one I would like to show you. So switch here. There. So this time it's Asia Pacific Land, also an international company. So Asia Pacific Land is a real estate investment and asset management firm that focuses on value-added development, redevelopment, portfolio acquisition, and other complex transactions. So for this case, they are requiring IPv talk because APL was not willing to compromise with basic video and audio quality. Another important requirement was the capability of having a strong connection between their main offices in Tokyo and Los Angeles. So after they switched to IPVideoTalk, APL experienced a new and productive way of using video conferencing. IPVideoTalk not only saved time with its easy-to-use interface, but also saved money on business travel. This robust platform allowed APL to have meetings on the computer through their mobile devices. So now, I think the case study is already done. I will be able to proceed with the demo. So let me show you my exact screen where I'm in right now. Okay. So this is my view as your host. So let me navigate you to the environment itself. So you are seeing in the middle is you are sharing the application. So of course it's my screen. There is the microphone settings here. Just click and I will be mute. So there is the webcam. So if I press this one, I will be able to share a webcam. Then this is what I use to switch among the apps that has been shown earlier. So we can just share the desktop as a whole, and also we could select the application. So the options would be the entire screen, the application window. So those are the windows that is currently activated as the time as I speak. So Brave tab. So here is the tabs that I have for my browser. This one right here is the layouts option. So the host has also the capability to enable the participants to allow to change layouts whenever you have multiple participants using a web camera. So you can also disable that, of course. Meeting layout, we have a lot to choose from. So first, we have the auto or automatic. We have the focus 1 plus 7. So that means the one in the center is the one who is speaking at the moment. So the speaker is always emphasized in this one, in this layout. So in tile auto, you can even select more auto from here. So as you can remember, IPVideoTalk has 49 video feeds at most. So we have here 7 by 7. So imagine you utilizing a 7 by 7 video using just this tool by GrandStream. So we are also enabled to use a carousel interval. This will let us see the other participants in a switch of the display. So let's say for 10 seconds or so, 15, 50. So you're able to select that one here. The others should be here, the participants features, the settings utilizing the webinar. So if we wanted to invite participants, we can do so. Just input the email addresses of the participants here. So of course, it will be sent to their email. Then all they have to do is join the webinar. So that is utilizing the one-click meeting as well. Meeting caption. So of course, we are able to change that as well if you wanted to. So in here, the current meeting layout default does not receive video from participants. So is that why? Because we have the video participants. So we can also stop the recording. For now, it's ongoing, as you can see, because I have set it automatically before I created the webinar. This is what we use to do a live stream using Facebook and YouTube. For the host to be able to mute all the participants, he just have to press this one. Otherwise, unmute this one. Lower all hands. You can also set this mute attendees on entry. So upon other participants who just joined the meeting, they are automatically mute. So you don't have to tell them uh, again and again that you have to mute the microphones that you have, because it's kind of a disturbance with the meeting. So allow all to view attendee list, so it can also be allowed and disabled. Disable chat for all attendees. So here is the Q&A. Later on, once we're done with everything, I will be able to ask you guys if you have any questions with regards to this webinar. So here, this is the host view. So whenever there's a question, I will be able to see this from here, then the answer. So later on, let's go into that. Meeting information. So basically, you have here the meeting ID, which is important because once you are not uh, invited via the email address of yours, you can still join the meeting just using this one. So for example, you have a mobile device with, of course, the IP Video Talk app in it. You just have to input that meeting ID, your name, and your email address, and that's it. When you have the internet access, you're able to join. Okay, so that is all with regards to the environment of the IPVideoTalk. Here, if you just press this button, you're able to see the participants. And as you can see, you have the power for each one to unmute, to even set them as the panelists, just like being a host as well, and also to remove them. So there is the chat right here. So I was being assisted by one of my colleague, a technical colleague, to answer your questions while I'm doing the webinar. So this is exactly how you create it. So once you IPVideoTalk.com, right there, you have a couple of options here. So if you wanted to simply join a meeting here, as I said earlier, you just need the meeting ID, your name, and your email address. Otherwise, if you wanted to host a meeting, enter the meeting, the host code. This is with regards to the GVC device. That's later I will be showing you. Let's just go back one more time. So sign in. This one is different because this one's basically saying that you already have the account. And when you use this one, it's likely that you will be the host of the webinar or the meeting. So you just input this email address and your password. So to create one, just click here, free basic plan, and of course, sign up. Your email, your name, country, state or province, business name, company size, then verification code. So click sign up, then you should be receiving an email from IPVideoTalk saying that you are enabling the IPVideoTalk account and you can try it already in here. So going back, once you already have your account, here is what you can see. So you have the option Meet Now. So here, it is basically a meeting. So you have an option to select which plan you're using. So for us right now, you can see here busy because this is the plan that we are currently using. We also have this available other plan. Subject, of course, which is a preference of yours. A password, this is what I said earlier. So every meeting and every webinar is secured and protected by password. So if you create one, please do so because this is important to protect the meeting. Invitees, you can select with either email or IPVideoTalk accounts that you know of. So you can select via enter or you can input them using the semicolon key. So once you press meet now, it will enable right away. So it will give you an IPVideoTalk meeting ID, which you can share to the participants you wanted to join you. So we have also the scheduled meeting. Under this one is a meeting as well and also a webinar. So let's go first with the meeting. The main difference for this one is that it is a more specified way of inviting your participants. So you have your subject. Of course, you have to select your plan as well. We, the organizer, so from Alloys or support, I think this is what you received from before you joined in here. So time zone, of course, this is important because it is a scheduled meeting, right? So we have to set the duration so just that the participants know what they can expect. You can even input a recurring meeting. So this is useful for meetings or webinars that is requiring for a follow-up. So for example, the meeting is about a project, then you have to require an update for every X amount of days, X amount of weeks, X amount of months. You can set that here. So the interval also is set by the date, or you can even select no end. So the meeting goes on and on. The password as well, just like what we have here in Meet Now. Description, agenda, preferred location. So right now we have three. So we are using Japan because it's the closest one to us. Then this is what I'm saying earlier. You can select right away which features you wanted to be enabled just before you create the webinar. So if you wanted to mute every participants before it starts, so you just have to enable it. If you wanted to allow chat, enable it. Automatic recording, to display the list of attendees. Also to trigger a beep when someone leaves or joins a meeting, the host will know of that if you wanted to disable the presentation as well. So again, you're able to invite participants using the IPVideoTalk accounts and emails. Just like what we had earlier, the layouts is the same thing in the environment. So here it is. Email settings. So this is just the reminder before the meeting starts. With regards to webinar, the main difference among the others is that it has the custom registration page. So this is what I've been saying earlier. So you can edit this one to your preference there. So meeting name, of course, select the time zone when will be the meeting is conducted. So this field right here is the customizable field already. So if you wanted that your participants should input something, simply drag it here, right? So if you wanted them to have some questions to be answered, you can just select, you can edit the options, option 1, option 2, you can even add, set as required, also a text, radio. So pretty much everything that you need from the participants as their information, you can set it right here. Whether he's a male or a female, if you need something like that, you can do that as well. You can add, you can delete, of course. Then the email settings pretty much the same thing as with the scheduled meeting. The main difference is that after a webinar scheduled meeting, you have your thank you email sent right after the meeting to each participants, and the missed you email to those participants who weren't able to join the webinar. So going back to the basic info is pretty much the same thing. All right. So here it is the approval to help you with the sorting out the participants. So it will automatically approve, of course, if you set it here, manually approve. The organizer have the power or the right to approve them manually before they were able to join the meeting. So what else? Recordings. Of course, as mentioned earlier, we have a generous amount of cloud storage given by us from GrandStream. So in this case, since we are using a basic business plan, we have 5 gigabytes of storage in total. So here, since our webinar right now is recorded, after this webinar, it will be saved into here, this one. I think this is the meeting we're currently in. So this is 1103733699, right? So it's this one. Okay. So right now it is creating recording file since we are still in the webinar. So in case that you have finished a webinar, it is ready for download. You have the file size, you have the duration, everything sorted out for you. So the contacts, here you can have your contacts so that when you invite the registrants, you don't have to manually type the names one by one. So it has a auto sensing ability. devices, as you can see before we started earlier, there is a feed from the GVC 3200. So because that is linked to this IP Video Talk license account. So here it is the IP address of the GVC. It has the same IP Video Talk ID, and it is authenticated as well. So basically, if we are enabling a room system, this is where we link the video conferencing cameras such as GVC 3200, 3202, and so on. So we will be asked for a code which can be shown later on in the GVC demo, an alias. We can also use the MAC address if you want, then just simply link it. So for the plans, so there is a one question to answer. Yeah, let's just finish the demo, then I'll be happy to help out with the questions. There is, I think, 10 more minutes before we got it through. Okay, so the plans here, if you need to buy a new plan, this is basically the field. So you have the choices here. So I think it will be coordinated with, of course, GrandStream. So statistics, basically the analytics, you have the records here. So the number of participants from whichever period, the meeting duration, total meeting duration. So the number of meetings is all in here. All right. So I think now for the GVC and GAC demo, I will hand the presentation to Miss Rachel, my colleague. So let me just go right back here. Okay. Oops, this is not mine. Where is here? So I think we will be able to, yeah, it's right here now. So while she's presenting the GVC demo, I will try to answer the questions already.
Hello? Louis, we can still see your screen. Alright. Hello guys, so I'm Rachel from Ali Support. I'll be showing you the GVC 3200 and integrated with the IP Video Talk. Basically, GVC 3200 is built-in 9 video feeds. So if you have an IP Video Talk and you want to improve your, increase your video feeds, you can integrate your IP Video Talk account to the GVC 3200. So I'll show you the IP Video Talk capability in the GVC 3200 in a moment. One moment. So what you're seeing right now is the video feed from the GAC 3200. So one of the features of GVC to 3200 is the optical zoom and 1080 pixels. So I'll show you that. So this one is basically used, for example, in the government and in the classroom. One of the features, the zoom is a 12 times optical zoom. So for example, in the classroom, you're very far away and you're camera is far away from the board. So I'll show you how it's the capability of this device. Uh, so as you can see, if you plan to use this GVC 3200 with IP Video Talk for a classroom base or business setup, so as you can see from here, the zoom and the focus is very clear. You can clearly read the specifications from here. So standards, number of ports, that's it. So due to we have a limited time. One moment. GVC 3200 also has a remote. So it has a touchpad, um, number keypad, so you can dial immediately. Alright, so one moment. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So I'll show you the IP video talk from the GVC 3200. So from the call button, can you see my screen? Yep. Here, you have also option to call via internal. If you have an IPPBX, you can also use it internally. You can call extensions 1000 and your IP video talk account if you have IP video talk number from a different company or different person. You just have to select this one. So you can see you can there's an IP video talk here. You just have to input the IP video talk number. So that's it. That's how easy to use this one. And also there's a button here for the an IP video talk. All right. So you have options here like for instant meetings if you want to generate a instant meeting with your coworkers, there's an option. That's it. But currently we have a meeting, so I'm not allowed to do that. Uh, right. So you also have a meeting list. You'll see here the scheduled meetings, contacts. That's it. And you can call here also. Just input the IP video talk or the extension number. As you can see from here, this is the IP video talk number that our GVC 3200 have. So if you have another if you have another IP video talk with GVC, just input it from here. So for example, from ours, you have to dial 8202 to 82026. For example, you have another IP video talk number like 72. Just press that one and then press this color button. the blue one. So that's how fast it is. It will ask for a password if your partner have requires a password. So that's how easy it is. So I'll be transferring the webinar to Louis now or the Q&A.
Yes, hello everyone. So I think I was able to answer most of the questions through a text. So basically, I'm typing my answer because Miss Rachel is presenting the demo. So any other questions? Just feel free to ask us just before we end the webinar. By the way, thank you, Miss Rachel, for that wonderful demonstration. So there is a question that is it possible to have two monitors, one for the participants and another one for the presentation? Well, yes, it is possible. So it only works only over the internet. What about private wireless network or WLAN without internet connection? Well, I think in that case, without internet, we have an option to maybe just use a IP calling or something or a SIP calling because this really utilizes the cloud and the internet. So that's the main idea of the IP video talk, just like the every other conferencing cloud tools that we have. So any other questions?
Some questions have been answered privately via chat.
Can what's that? I didn't get. Well, for me, our best advantage to Zoom is as mentioned earlier with some of the case studies that's been deployed already is from the client's perspective as well is for us to be able to integrate uh, almost most of the devices that we currently have right now. So we have a video conferencing camera for business conferencing. We have PCs, we have laptop, we have mobile devices, we have video SIP video phones. Of course, we have this IP video talk, and pretty much it is a all-in-one package and solution in terms of a video conferencing requirements. So I think that would be the best advantage compared with Zoom. So can you use free license meeting without GAC device? Yeah, of course. GAC device is just the speakerphone. It doesn't matter that much with regards to the licensing. So the other group of meeting can show also their integration apps, FB or YouTube or the host only. Well, for this instance, the only the host has the capability to even host a live stream using FB and YouTube. So if you are just a participant, you are not allowed to do that since you don't have the right or the capability to do so. You won't even have an option to enable that feature. So what is a room sizing for good audio pickup of the GAC or the GAC rather? So for that question, there has to be at least 320 square feet for an effective sound coverage. But with large room, the voice mode enabled on GAC 2500. So if we have two GAC 2500 cascaded, it could serve a room sizing of about 550 square feet. So do you need to purchase a camera to be able to start a webinar? Well, a webinar is free at the moment, just like what we have shown earlier. You can even create an account and host a webinar at your own expense without the camera. But the thing is, if we wanted to make our management or the company even more satisfied with what the IPVideoTalk is capable of, also with our clients and resellers, it is recommended to always have the camera, of course, because it utilizes a clear, uh, definitive resolution to be able to share with the participants. So there's one question left. Let me see. When was this IPVideoTalk first launch? Let me see. What's this launch? I think I haven't seen any document that says about the launch, but for that question, Sir Raymond, I'll just have it. Maybe I'll get back to you with an answer via an email. Maybe I just have to ask for some advices from Grandstream itself because documentation does not really show about the launching of the. So, any questions? Other one? Okay. Just take down this video talk and what else? DPA, GDPA, Right. So, does IP Video Talk have waiting room feature? Waiting room feature should be basically when you start the IP Video Talk webinar, for example, just like what we did earlier. I was already there since like to 140, but I wasn't even starting the IP Video Talk webinar yet. So I think that pretty sums up a waiting room feature with regards to the host perspective. So any COVID-19 offerings, I think that Grant Team was able to give us a generous web meeting participants already. So it is, if you haven't uh, asked, it's from actually 3 participants only. But right now we already have 50 and 49 video participants. So I think that's really generous to be given that amount of participants and views when you only have a free plan. So that is what they have for a COVID-19 offering. Does it also have whiteboarding feature? In a way, it has, because when you present, you have this pen to use. You also have this pointer, just like what I have earlier, this red pointer. But the main difference, I think, with whiteboarding is whiteboarding allows you to collaborate with the participants. But in a sense, only the host can do some notes using that pen. So not that much, but we're able to utilize the same, I think. Any other questions? Can you send invite via FB Messenger, Viber, or WhatsApp? Well, definitely you can do that. How? You just have to copy the link. So if you send it via FB Messenger, then your invitee would just click that link. Perhaps he or she already have the IPVideoTalk app in his or her mobile. He will be joined right away. So the same thing with Viber and WhatsApp. All you have to do is send them the link to be able to join the IPVideoTalk meeting or webinar. More questions? Is basic package for existing GramStream users only? So it's the basic purchase package. Well, yes, because IPVideoTalk is made for the GVC devices. I mean the GVC series. But if it's the web plan that you are asking, sir, then it's for everyone, I think, because it utilizes just the internet and WebRTC as it is supported. because we have two options to use. We have the room systems. We also have the web plans. So the room systems involves those GVC devices, the cameras. Otherwise, the web plans only needs the internet access with the supported browsers. The participants is able to invite other user. Yes, given the scenario that first he knows the meeting ID, and if it has a password, if he will give it to the other user, he will be able to join. Yeah, you're welcome, everyone. Other questions, please? So, do you upload this video in YouTube? Yes, we can definitely do that. We have a YouTube page. We also have Facebook. So, please do follow us. Just simply look for Alloy. Just one moment. Let me just browse here. So, Alloy Computer Products Philippines. We will be uploading this webinar there. Also, please follow us in our Facebook accounts. Questions? Do you have a roadmap for the PSTN here in Philippines? I think I have to list down it again to be asked with Grand Stream directly. Yeah. So, Sir Raymond, I have a bunch of answers pending to you. So, the launch of IPVideoTalk, DPD, and GDPA compliance, and also this one. I think I'll have it sorted out with Grand Stream first, then I'll just email you back. PSTN. Questions? So I think until 3:30 would be good if there's no other questions. When you say PSTN, you mean toll free, right? Yes, I think it is because they have a specific number to use. So it's only a select number. So that's gotta be toll free. But just to confirm and ensure we have the correct, I'll also add that to our pending questions. All right, until 3:30, uh, we'll keep on accepting questions so that we can end and have it uploaded already with our YouTube page. What is that? Can be integrate the outdoor IP camera or NVR. Yes. Pending on YouTube because some issue call incoming. I think IP video talk is not that needed in, I mean, an IP outdoor camera or NVR. Well, because IP video talk utilizes the conferencing, right? The webinar. So it's kind of senseless to use an IP camera just to join this meeting. All right, so for those who are going already, thank you so much for your time for joining us here in our IP Video Talk webinar. You can always ask inquiries to support at alloy.com.ph or sales at alloy.com.ph for both technical and sales inquiries. Last 3 minutes, any questions? Yep. So since there's no any other questions, I think we will end it here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Till the next webinar. Bye. And stay tuned to our YouTube page for the copy of this webinar. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.